Today, the Justice Department unsealed an indictment of defendant Donald Trump for 37 counts. We are covering this historic and unprecedented development with our legal experts who have been poring over this 44-page indictment since it was first unsealed this afternoon. The nation heard from special counsel Jack Smith for actually the first time ever today, a prosecutor known for his work and today his actions, indicting the former president after about 7 months on the job. And he spoke clearly and concisely about this indictment and national security crimes.
Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with felony violations of our national security laws, conspiracy to obstruct justice. To understand the scope and the gravity of the crimes charged, our laws that protect national defense information are critical. They must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country at risk. Adherence to the rule of law is a bedrock principle, nothing more and nothing less. My office will seek a speedy trial that the defendants in this case must be presumed innocent until proven guilty. I would like to thank the dedicated public servants of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
And there you have it. The special counsel acknowledging the FBI, which defendant Trump has attacked and now the new indictment alleges criminally lied to. And Jack Smith emphasized one set of laws applies to all. He urged people to read the actual charges. And I can tell you they dropped today as the ultimate bombshell in this MAGA era. You could see journalists, you're not hallucinating, moments ago on your screen, along with lawyers and news junkies and politicos scouring this detailed and damning narrative that has been unfurled today. And we could tell, although this is a breaking and unfolding story, this is a moment for us, for people in America and probably around the world watching. But we can tell already that this has been happening from newsrooms to living rooms. And it's a faster process than most cases because Trump's rush to leak his own indictment and his planned arraignment shifted the timeline. The DOJ moved to officially unseal the charges that will formally be filed in court next week. And now we have it. We can see more than just the number of counts, the 37 being higher than the initial estimates that were leaking out last night. We could see the DOJ's view and evidence for what they call the purpose and methods of Trump's criminal conspiracy, the lying, the hiding, the demands to destroy evidence, the pressure on lawyers to join his crimes, and the pressure on the lawyers who refused. Now, this story has detailed contemporaneous evidence about how Trump basically took his own lawyers and, well, failed to get some of them to commit crimes, which turned them into star witnesses. We have more on that later this hour as the DOJ narrates a story of national security crimes made worse by this cover-up and obstruction plot with new receipts. These photos of the contraband, the materials Trump took, secrets carelessly sitting out there on a ballroom stage, quite literally taking center stage. We also have the materials that are supposed to be in secured classified rooms, instead oddly stacked up to the ceiling in a bathroom. You can see our nation's secrets right there next to a Mar-a-Lago toilet. Again, just receipts, just facts, make of it what you will. Then spilled documents strewn across the floor. Again, all of this building, along with the other testimonial evidence, the case against Trump. Some of these photos, as you may have noticed, are new today from the filing. There's a lot of incriminating evidence that is brand new. And some of the worst is from Donald Trump's own mouth. We were discussing this in our coverage with Rachel and Nicole and the team. And this bears repeating right now before I bring in our lawyers, because we have this now newly revealed tape. There were leaks about it. There were media reports about it. But this ain't no leak. We're talking about the actual transcript of the tape now filed in court, which forms the core of the case against Donald Trump made by Donald Trump. As he admits, he did not declassify a document that he still held unlawfully, according to DOJ. And then on tape, he admits he knows it is too late, saying, quote, "See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't." I'm going to read that twice for you because there's many parts of this filing. But when you are accused of something like this, and your public defense previously was you magically declassified everything, but you're secretly caught on tape saying, quote, see, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't. You are in a world of hurt. Welcome to the legal case, the United States versus Donald Trump. The defendant is presumed innocent and he has rights, but he is facing a mountain of evidence. As promised, we have assembled our lawyers to kick off the coverage on the beat tonight on what is a night in history. Christy Greenberg was former deputy chief of the criminal division at the famed SDNY, and Andrew Weissmann served as general counsel at the FBI and was a deputy in the Mueller probe. Welcome to both of you. We have been working together today, so some of this we've discussed, but I want to begin with the tape and what lawyers call admissions against interest.
Yep.
But what in a courtroom drama or a movie would look like damn, I can't believe he confessed.
Absolutely. So the way I looked at this was first thinking about the seriousness of what was charged in terms of just the level of classification and the level of obstruction. But then as a lawyer, I went through it thinking, how is this going to get proved? Very much as we used to do when we were in the government. And the detail and the sources from insiders, from employees, from personal lawyers, texts, tape recordings, photographs, none of which can be attacked because all of it is coming from insiders. It's not coming from FBI agents. You can say, oh, they're just lying or they planted evidence. And the tape recording is devastating, although it is not the only devastating piece of evidence. And I'll just read to you just from the right after the part where he says, well, I could have declassified it, but I can't. So Trump says, now I can't, but this is still a secret. And what I love is the staffer responds saying, now we have a problem.
We have a problem.
Right? Yeah, the problem, it's like, mission control, we have a problem. Yeah, because we now have a classified document in our possession and you knew that you couldn't do it. I know you couldn't do it. And now we have it. And by the way, it's on tape.
Right. Instead of Houston, we have a problem. It's Miami, we have a problem.
Well, and what's so astounding about that transcript is the parts in italics where the staffer is laughing throughout. Like, it's so brazen that they know that this document is classified, and they're laughing about it. Oh, I could have declassified it. I didn't. Ha, ha, ha. Like, this is really serious. It's a serious document. And he also talks about why. You get some of the motive in that transcript where he says, well, I totally won my case with this document because General Milley was saying, actually, it was Trump who wanted to attack Iran and I was trying to stop him. And this document, Trump says, this proves he was wrong. I win my case. And it just goes back to why was he doing this? And you think like, oh, OK, it's just petty. It's just him trying to settle scores with enemies. And it just comes across so clearly in that transcript that's quoted in the indictment.
Yeah. What is different about this as well is all of the insider testimony. And this is something that's jumped out from the beginning. Andrew and I were looking at the breadcrumbs or the clues leading to this. We knew that Trump had lost lawyers. He lost 2 more today. We knew that the New York Times busted open this story that one of the lawyers on this very case was making tapes to try to protect, it would appear, himself. So I want to walk through some of this right now with both of you. And for the viewers who may have seen some of this on your phone or some of the MSNBC coverage here on The Beat, we want to show you how these reliable sources that Jack Smith is using are the kind of sources most defendants would shudder to see in an indictment. The lawyers are here because Trump's own lawyers are dropping a dime. We see references to Trump Attorney 1, which appears to be Evan Corcoran, the lawyer that just last night on The Beat, we reported on how his emerging role was a star witness that might amount to a John Dean or a Don McGahn. You have Trump saying, I don't want anybody looking through my boxes. I don't want you looking through them. What happens if we just don't respond at all or don't play ball with the feds? These are the feds who've now indicted him. Quote, wouldn't it be better if we just told them we don't have anything here, which is, of course, a lie, we now know. And then, well, look, isn't it better if there are no documents? Again, from the lawyer, that is an estimation of what Trump said at the time, saying, well, wouldn't it be better if we lied and said there are no documents when there are? And we know that he is now charged with the false statement lie. And then you have this thing we've been talking about today, the plucking motion that was Donald Trump trying to persuade or cajole or illegally demand his lawyers just pluck out the bad stuff. And the lawyer says he made kind of a funny motion like, well, okay, why don't you take them, these secret documents, to your hotel room? And if there's anything really bad in there, pluck it out. And he made that motion. He didn't say that, the lawyer explains. Now, we were discussing this earlier in our breaking coverage. On these breaking news days, we're all doing the shift work, as you may have noticed. And we were discussing earlier today something that now I want to play in its original format. Shout out to Breaking Bad, because there is a moment where you say, do I need a lawyer to defend what I've done in the past? And you have every right to that. Or are you a stone-cold criminal who's looking for a criminal lawyer who's not a criminal defense lawyer, but a lawyer who'll be a criminal? It's something that overlaps with the new indictment, because what you're about to see is exactly what DOJ thinks Donald Trump was looking for.
You don't want a criminal lawyer, right? You want a criminal lawyer.
Andrew.
So that is exactly what is recorded by clearly Evan Corcoran. They managed to get a court order that said that Evan Corcoran has to testify, that he has to turn over his notes. It turns out his notes were quite extensive because he had made tape recordings of essentially recording everything that he could recall that happened. That's how come this is so detailed. And you basically have Donald Trump saying, first, with respect to the subpoena, this all goes to the obstruction. Why can't we just say that we've returned everything, as you pointed out? That's a lie. He then goes on to say, essentially, you know, why don't you just do what the lawyer for Hillary Clinton does? By the way, that's not what the lawyer for Hillary Clinton did, but that's what Trump thinks it is. And it's like, can't you just get rid of these documents?
Just destroy the evidence.
Destroy it for me, but you do it, because then I won't get in trouble.